to you, but that ball really is signed by Babe Ruth.
So is this one, with the rest of the 1927 Yankees.
Welcome into Box Office Quarterbacks, very somber box office quarterbacks today. Me and Ahmed wanted to get together to talk about the life and career of James Earl Jones. You don't even really need to introduce him, but we are, just because of what he meant really to us and our childhoods. Like, the roles are endless here. You got obviously the voice of Darth Vader throughout the entire saga, Mufasa, and my favorite role, uh, Mr. Myrtle from the Sandlot. But Ahmed, that is just three of many iconic roles that this man played, and he is a giant that's going to leave a lasting legacy in Hollywood.
I'm about to blow your mind. For me, he'll always be part of The Simpsons because he played practically every cameo episode in Treehouse of Horror, the first Treehouse of Horror. And I knew he did The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, where he narrated that, but I didn't know that he had a special appearance as an alien in one of the other segments. And then he had a very small cameo in the first one, the first of the Treehouse of Horror series. And whenever I discovered that, I was blown away, and then I was able to hear it. But if that's not a testament to someone as a good actor, that you don't even recognize their voice, you're just so taken aback by the role. I mean, if that's not talent, I don't really know what is. And you're going to hear me say that a bunch in this episode.
Yeah, I thought you were going to pick the Simpsons thing because I saw a post yesterday where it was Lisa like looking up at the sky, and it was all the characters that he played on The Simpsons, like a tribute to the Lion King. Speaking of the lion, yes, Scratchy, the Lion Queen, is here.
Is that your roar? Weak.
Yes,
weak.
He's the new Nala, that's for sure. But yeah, like, there is so much to love from his career, and obviously he cannot be replaced. But I think that Darth Vader is the best probably on-screen villain we've had ever, potentially ever, in the history of cinema. So that role and that voice, it's probably going to be something that our kids will tell their kids, and it's just going to be an ongoing legacy for this man who we love so much. And Mufasa too, there's a new Mufasa movie coming out at the end of this year, and that's probably going to be even more emotional now, because I think he was the voice of Mufasa in the new Lion King as well.
I thought I heard the same, which I gotta say, I wasn't really thrilled about them doing a new Mufasa movie. You know how I feel about reboots, but the storyline seems like the traditional. It seems very revisionist in that it's the traditional. We're supposed to side with the villain, and Lion King is one of those. It's been 30 years, and you're gonna screw with our childhood even more than people already have. If that's not the direction they're going, I'll take this back. But with certain roles like that, it just seems so timeless. And his death, while James Earl Jones being in his 90s, it took us all by surprise because he's lived so long. He's never really stopped working. That he just seemed like such an untouchable figure. And to know that he's gone, but we're still going to try to tell this other story, potentially recasting him, or something in that and of itself, it's sad because it's like, let's just let people have their legacies. And I hope nobody will also try to redo This Is CNN or anything else he's ever done.
Was that him too?
Yeah, he was.
Holy crap.
This is CNN. So he's done so much, and it's like, you really can't touch that figure. That's something that, like, this people should take note of The Simpsons. When Phil Hartman passed away unexpectedly, they didn't recast his characters, and they just kind of never shared it again because his characters sort of passed on with him. And so with James Earl Jones, I just hope that people will remember him throughout the ages. Like you said, our kids' kids, will continue to talk about him because he just set the bar so high for acting and voice acting, not one or the other, but both.
Yeah, as Delia barks outside, speaking of the Sandlot, she is a Mastiff. And one of the reasons I do have that dog is because of a movie that I loved so much, The Sandlot. I remember watching this movie.
What kind of weirdo names their pet after a fictional character?
Hey, hey, who
I
would
mean,
do that?
what kind of weirdo does that?
Yeah. But like The Sandlot was like one of those movies I watched every single summer, and like I wanted a treehouse like they had in the movie,
Oh, that's sick.
and anytime you saw like a giant dog looking over the fence of the backyard, you thought of this movie, and you thought of James Earl Jones as Mr. Myrtle, the guy who is like the keeper to the beast. And I really am just
Forever.
yes,
Forever.
is the best movie, one of the best movies of all time. Darth Vader is another conversation. Like this is something they started doing, I think, in the Obi-Wan series, but they did use James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader, but they used AI to come up with new lines for it. Are you How do you feel about that aspect?
If he gave his consent, then it's not up to me. Because that's something that I think Prince was a similar situation where he didn't want his music to be in streaming platforms, because he didn't want people listening to his music for free. And so with this, I wonder if it would be, um, sort of tainting it. Uh, I think we've done enough as well with Star Wars. I think, if we're kind of, I think we just need to come up with new ideas now. Darth Vader kind of helped solidify that, and you're not going to have an AI version of James Earl Jones bring back the franchise.
Yeah, it's actually right before we came on here. There was a lawsuit against Lucasfilm for using the likeness of uh, Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One without the consent of the family, like Ahmed is talking about. So, yeah, I do agree with you. I think that maybe we leave Darth Vader alone after this. Anakin Skywalker, bring back Hayden Christensen if you're going to do it, but don't do the voice. But yeah, like this is a man that was bigger than life. His roles were bigger than life. Mufasa and Remember Who You Are. It's just remember who James Earl Jones is.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add about his life, his legacy before we get out of here?
I think just the main thing is the headlines, in mainstream media was James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. And yes, that is true. But there were so many things he did. Like Jeff mentioned The Sandlot. I mentioned The Simpsons. He was in Field of Dreams. He was, one of the original cast members in the play Fences, which they did a live action, version of it with Denzel Washington, and they bring like two different ethos or pathos to those roles. And when you see James Earl Jones' performance on stage, where he started on Broadway, on stage, and for you Christian buffs out there, he did narrate the Bible too. So go check that out.
Damn, voice of
Yeah,
God, huh?
yeah. Screw you, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
But that's
that
shame.
could have been a voice off.
I know.
That would have been like a rap battle, but with narrating. I would have loved that.
Oh yeah! Oh, come on, epic rap battles of history. Come
Oh
on,
man, oh man.
but yeah, people watch that, and you'll kind of see how he had such great acting chops on stage, on the big screen, on the small screen, and on a fucking large stage. Like just and it's a testament to he never expected any of this, and there are a lot of like tough. It's kind of been tough out there for all of us, career wise, in the job market. So if you're unemployed, my heart goes out to you. But good things happen to good people. And, he didn't get big in the mainstream until he was in his 40s, 40s or so, like in his later age. And there's nothing wrong with that, because look what legacy he's left behind now. So our time is coming. We thank people like James Earl Jones for paving that way for us.
Yeah. Well said, and a life well lived for James Earl Jones. Let us know your favorite role. What you're going to remember most about him in the comments. Ahmed and I will be back very soon. We're going to do our first live episode ever, which will be us together for the first time in person in Dallas here next week. So can't wait to do that. But this has been Box Office Quarterbacks.
Stay
Jeff.
tuned and make sure Jeff agrees with me. Otherwise, we might be fighting live in the podcast.
Oh, no.